Many infertile couples ask me why it is they're constantly feeling so sad. And my response is that it may not be possible to recognize the numbers of losses that infertility involves. One is a loss of feeling of good health. When males and females are being subjected to a number of medical tests, when they are being subjected to a number of medications and the side effects of those medications, when physicians are asking them to undergo a number of treatments, some of which may be awkward or painful, a couple who had previously felt robustly healthy begins to feel a loss of that health, begins to question whether or not they are in fact healthy human beings. That is a loss that needs to be recognized. There may not be a great deal one can do about it except to say that the reproductive aspect of oneself is needing a lot of attention, but nevertheless there are other aspects of one's bodily health that are still in good working order. One of the biggest losses that couples talk with me about is the loss of sexual spontaneity. Couples no longer make love. They are trying to make babies. The way in which couples have to time intercourse, the way in which ovulation tests determine what nights they're going to make a baby, the way in which they even will stay away from intercourse because they feel as though somehow it's not the pleasure that it used to be, causes them to realize that infertility has gotten into bed between the two of them. And it is a loss because, of course, all couples want to feel sexually close. And during times of infertility, this is a common loss that people face, and it is a common difficulty. I encourage couples to try not to talk about their infertility in the bedroom because that brings it more close than it should be. One is the loss of self-esteem. Most people feel as though if they work hard enough, they can accomplish what they want to accomplish. Infertile people are bouncing up against the reality that working hard does not produce a pregnancy, that working hard does not produce a healthy baby. And the self-esteem that has been tied up with success in doing things because you work hard sometimes comes into question when infertile people are unable to do the one thing in their lives that they really want to do. I encourage infertile people to try to think of themselves beyond their infertility. Even though your infertility is what consumes very much of your time and energy, it will also be important to remember and to talk with your friends and partner and relatives about other parts of your lives besides your infertility, so that you can constantly remind yourself that there are areas where your self-esteem flourishes, even though infertility may be an area that self-esteem is not where you want it to be. I would say that the last area of losses that is important to infertile people is what I'll call the feeling of loss of control. That loss of control encompasses loss of your schedule because the doctor's appointment needs to be on a certain day of the month and you may not know when ovulation occurs until several days before that. You lose control in terms of being able to think of your finances and how money is going to be spent with regard to infertility treatments, how much insurance is going to cover. You lose control in terms of knowing when your emotions are going to flood over you and when suddenly an event that you thought was going to be perfectly safe to participate in is fraught with emotions. And it's important to recognize that it is unpredictable sometimes as to when your issues are going to be in your face, but at the same time important as a way of gaining control to be able to talk openly with your partner and with others about the feelings and emotions that infertility brings.